and making the greatest food ever.
Let me tell you something. If you don't like eggplant parmesan, then I just got to say something's wrong with you. John Granada here from Camille's. How are you, my friend? Always good to see you. Joe Zito,
Hello,
TV's
Vince.
maitre d'.
Good morning, all.
And of course, he's brought a bottle of wine with him.
Well,
we'll talk about that in a little bit. This is the gravy I was talking about.
Oh, elegant.
That we can't describe without offending some people. It's that good.
It's that good.
And
Adjectives.
John, give us an idea of what we got here.
All right, what we're looking at is, let's talk about eggplant. I mean, the process of eggplant parmesan, everybody knows how to make it. But do you know how to make the eggplant so that you don't attain that bitter, rotten flavor that turns you off to eggplant? And basically, this goes back to Grandma. I mean, she used to take it, salt the eggplant, leave it in the refrigerator either overnight or 2 to 3 hours, and what happens is the salt draws all the water, the bitterness, and all the acidity out of the eggplant.
Right.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to rinse it out and actually wring it out like it was a piece of cloth.
I'm going to do that.
Joe's going to do that for hours for us. We're going to pat it dry, and then we're just going to fry it in olive oil. We're not going to use breading. We're not going to use anything. I mean,
Very healthy.
Who knew that Grandma was way ahead of her time with the carb situation? So, you know, and the flavors that you're going to see is going to be, you know, it's going to bring you back to when you were a little kid.
That's fantastic. And what do we got here? We got some cheeses?
Yeah, this is what we're going to finish with. We're going to a little mozzarella, a little pecorino romano, very simple. And the tomato sauce, which is just basically San Marzano tomatoes.
Pureed, though.
Yeah, we sauteed it with a little garlic and onion, olive oil, salt and pepper, and basil. And then we pureed it, so it gives you a nice smooth flavor. And I'm going to show you a couple of techniques at the end of how to make the eggplant parm, either regular eggplant parm, or we're going to make this fantastic pie.
Getting ready.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. What is that?
That's just multiple layers of what we're going to do. We're going to pile them up in a spring-form pan, and you bake that for about an hour and a half, and you know, it's very impressive.
And you're in heaven.
You are.
Well, actually, I do want you to try this at home.
Gentlemen, thank you. We're going to start cooking it when we come back. Sound good?
Excellent.
All right.
Vince, I'm sterile.
Oh, jeez.
I'm not going there. Back to you guys.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm already getting like a behind-the-scenes look at this. I was just asking you why we peel the eggplant first, because that would, to me, appear to be like the most nutrient-dense part of it.
Some people think that, but the problem is that those are the things that are tough to digest
when I'm working.
Oh, what is he doing over there?
Well, what we did was we salted this eggplant. You could salt it overnight. You could salt it for 3 hours. Okay. What I did was you take the eggplant, peel it, slice it. Put it on a sheet tray.
This here.
Right. Salt it with kosher salt because I like the coarse grain of the kosher salt. And it draws out all the water, the bitterness, and all the bad things that make eggplant unappealing.
And then we rinse all that off.
Pardon the pun.
Yeah.
So what Joe's doing is he's rinsing it. He's squeezing out all the bad toxins and everything that's in there. We're going to pat it dry further. Then we're going to pan fry them.
Okay.
We're not going to bread it. We're not going to put any coating on it that's going to distract. That's right. We're not going to do that. You're not going to know the difference when this is completed.
That's really
But
interesting.
look at all of the water, excuse me, Chef. Look at all of the water that's extracted from this that would normally end up when people rush through this process.
Yeah.
That's why Nana always did it one way.
Gotcha.
You can't change it.
It's painstaking in one way, but you're not going to bread it, so you save a little time that way.
Okay.
But the point is that when you're going to see the difference at the end when you cut through with a fork. It's going to be like.
Are you going to do one right now, or do they still have to dry out a little bit?
Well, they
more?
have to dry out, but I'm going to show you how what we do when we fry them. Now, we didn't do anything to this. We just dried it out.
Yeah.
And we're just going to throw it in the pan and let it fry
It's just amazing to me that we're not breading it, but you're right. It does kind of speed up that portion of the process.
Right, and then basically all you're going to do is you're going to do your eggplant parm like you normally do, which is the sauce, the cheese, and bake it in the oven. And it's only really a 20-minute process after this point.
Well, I tell you what, we're going to keep going with this in just a minute. But for now, you're going to want to get this recipe. I've already printed it out, and it's in my purse. So, FoxProvidence.com is the place to go for that. Now over to you guys.
All right.
Welcome back to the Road Show. This morning in the kitchen, we're making eggplant parmesan, and I just have to ask about this pie in the corner, Chef John Granada.
Well, basically, we did multiple layers of eggplant parmesan in that, and we cut the eggplant the long way rather than the round way. Folded it on the bottom of a spring-form pan, and then layer until you can't go any farther. Layer the top, bake it in the oven at 350 for about an hour and a half, and let it sit for about an hour.
So it's eggplant parm lasagna. Is that basically what
Okay,
it is?
yeah.
Am I all set
It'll
now?
I gotta
one.
say,
Joe, just keep going.
I gotta say, this is the hardest I've seen Joe Zito work
I
since
know,
he's
look, he's
been
got
here.
a
You know,
sweatband on.
the
You look
things
like
I
Olivia
do,
Newton-John
yeah,
over here.
exactly. The things I do so that co-hosts can eat. Really, it's a noble, noble task.
I will
And we
tell you how.
commend you.
I will tell you how much the collection was to make me do this. To you.
All right, that's
So
the
what's-
last
Get
one.
this out of our way.
What's the next step after because basically what we've done is we've salted this, we've let all the water kind of come out, all the bitterness come out, and then they've been washed, squeezed, and then deep fried in olive oil.
Patted dry.
Patted
again,
dry.
and
Gotcha.
Then squeeze all that crap out of it, and then.
What
well,
you
I
call
mean-
crap, some nutritionists call the
Well, the stuff
vitamins
is,
and
it
minerals.
really isn't good for you because
Okay.
it's a lot of bitterness that
That's
is
right.
that is not digestible.
I hear that's how Italians feel about vegetables sometimes.
All right,
But
so
go ahead.
So we got the tomato sauce on the bottom.
not just any tomato sauce,
I
it's
know.
pureed with a
This
lot
is-
of goodies.
This is what I've heard. I've heard you make a good.
And basically, you just want to layer this the way you normally would. You want to?
Okay, sure. So just kind of like the way I
Sure.
normally would, as if I cook. That was good, a good one. But okay, so I'm going to go around like this.
Right. You're going to keep going around.
Now this is essentially the beginning of the pie
Right, you
as
would
well,
just
right?
stack higher, but in
Yeah,
and
you just
probably
keep stacking.
Okay.
Yeah.
More sauce.
Nope. The next layer, you're going to go a little Romano,
Nice.
Cheese.
Love that.
and we're going to go the mozzarella.
Nice.
I've had some of that. That's pretty good.
Everybody was said, "You guys are eating the props."
There's
I
still
said, "What
some
else
left.
is new?"
And this is basically an eggplant palm. Now you're going to do another layer.
Okay. A layer of sauce.
And you said you don't cook. Look at this.
Like this. Here we
A
go.
little more.
And a little more for Vince.
For Vince.
There you go.
All right. How's that?
Yep,
Even a
no.
little more, or is that
No,
okay?
that's fine.
Okay.
Next process, same thing.
Okay.
All right.
Keep going, Elizabeth.
Need cheese.
Oh, sorry. I didn't.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right.
Oh, was I right? Okay. I thought I would be right.
All right, and you have one,
Right.
so we know.
Listen, we got a little cheesier. That's good. Now, did you bring a wine to
Oh,
complement
of course,
this?
you know me better than that.
Yeah.
And of course, this is a beautiful complement to it. This is a red Tuscan table wine. It's called Perlia Amici.
It's a heartier wine.
No, this is a fruity wine, a very earthy wine, not totally full-bodied, because you've got delicate flavors in here, and you
Yeah.
just want something that complements it nicely. This is a $12 bottle of wine in a place like my favorite wine store, Gasparo's on the Hill.
Right.
A really authentic, handcrafted wine, and I just think it is absolutely delightful.
Goes
Perlia
great with it,
Amici.
right?
Yeah, it'd be wonderful with it. And I might also add that we're about 2 weeks away at Camille's from a brand new menu,
Oh, wow.
Oh,
which is
really?
really,
Is
really
that for the
special.
fall season?
From top to
is.
bottom?
Nice.
They have a fabulous new website, which you can access at CamillesOnTheHill.com. Look at it. You'll get to see the food. And may I also add,
that's beautiful.
that if you want a more up-close personal look at Camille's, they're one of the featured restaurants on my new edition of TV Maitre d', of course, this Sunday morning. and
Great.
viewers
We'll,
over there.
we'll make sure that we put it up on our website, foxprovidence.com.
Yeah, beautiful.
Now, in the meantime, you're cutting into this, and it really does look like a pie. This looks delicious.
Rudimentary.
I've never had
Oh,
anything
thank
like
you,
this.
sir.
Now you see the multiple layers. I
I'm
actually
just going
like.
to show that to Wendy
Hopkins.
because I want our photographer. Well, thank you.
Now, you know what
because-
goes perfect with
Look
that?
at that.
It's missing one thing.
What do you think?
What's that?
You got to put a little sauce on top of that.
Oh, yeah.
Just a little.
Hit us with a little love. And I'm going to give this to Vince, but I'm going to cut my own slice as well. Because I've never had anything
Thank
like
you.
this. Vince, have you had a dish like this with the
I
pie?
actually have.
You have.
And I'll bet you it doesn't taste as good, but I've had it before.
Yeah. Do you have any silverware over there? Can we pass
I'm
this?
good. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
I gave it to him.
All right, so you're going to taste that, and I'll
This
taste
is going to be
this.
extremely hot.
I'm okay with that.
Look at this,
Now
though.
see the way this.
I love it, yeah.
There's no toughness.
And this is actually, you're right, it was kind of an intricate process, but not difficult.
No, because you bypass the breading, so I mean it's the same kind of procedure.
And not all the liquid at the bottom, which is the essential element when you dry
Right.
this out.
Oh, my God.
Isn't it beautiful?
That's awesome.
Right.
Everything.
Absolutely.
You're the best.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in.
John, as always,
Thank
thanks
you.
so much, and I wish you the very
I did
best
all
with
the
your new
work.
menu.
Thank you. I appreciate
It's
it
going
all.
to be
Okay,
great.
I did all the work.
You'll get
You
a
did,
slice.
Joe. I got to tell you.
You're welcome.
Now, Michelle Muscatello, I know that you were